Today we're going to make a Colombian dish called Ajiaco. It's like a potato stew, and for that you're going to need some really good chicken stock. So anyway, let's get started. So for chicken stock, we're going to need some chicken. Now what we're going to do is just back up for a second. This is a free-range chicken that I bought at the local farmers market. It's a really good quality chicken. Anyway, it's kind of small, but it's good. We're going to put our chicken in the pot with the neck. We're going to cover it with water. We're going to add a couple other things in here. I've got 3 bay leaves. We'll throw that in there. I have a few green onions here that I've kind of trimmed and washed up. We're going to throw that in there. Got 1 onion. It's cut in half. We're going to throw that in there. And then we're going to cover this chicken with about 1 inch of water. Okay, I probably put about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch of water on top of the chicken. This is kind of a big pot and kind of a small chicken. So anyway, I've got the burner on high, and we're going to bring this up to a simmer. You don't want to bring it to a rapid boil, because then any oils in there will get entrained in the water and it's harder to skim it off. Anyway, we're going to let this go for about an hour and a half until the chicken's cooked so that I can pull the meat off the bones. Alright. Okay, as you can see, this water is simmering. It's not boiling. My chicken's done. I can tell that because the meat's starting to pull away from the bone, like right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this off. I'll take my chicken out, and then I'll pull the meat off the bones of the chicken. Okay, I've got our chicken shredded up. I took all the meat off the bones. All the bones are back in the pot. We're going to let the bones cook in there for about 30 minutes or so. All the dark meat, I'm going to put that aside, and I'm going to save that for later. Because what I want in this dish is I want the breast meat. And we're going to shred this up into chunks. About like that. That's what we're looking for. Alright. Just so you know that it is day 2. Whenever I got my chicken stock all done, yesterday I took all the bones and all the skin and all that stuff out. I put it in the refrigerator overnight, and then today it was real easy to skim most of the fat off of it. I've got the chicken stock reheating on the stove. I've got a couple of potatoes here. I got a couple just regular white potatoes, real normal. And I've got a couple of these baby Yukon Golds, and we're going to peel these up. Now normally you would use the Andean potatoes, but I can't get them locally, and I'd have to buy them shipped in frozen, and just a big pain, so I'm just going to use what I've got. Anyway, so we got those. Now the one thing that you really can't substitute is this herb. If you don't have this, you really can't make this stew. It won't be the same. Anyway, I'm not even going to try to tell you how to say it. I'll put the name of the herb in the more info box. Package of herb, it's got a lot of stems in it. I want to go through and I want to pick out these stems. You can cook with them, but it's just not very appetizing in the dish. So our stock is up to a boil. We're going to take and put these small potatoes in first. We're going to put these in first. That's what we're going to want. We want these to basically break down, and we're going to use them to thicken our soup. We're going to go ahead and throw in 2 cloves of garlic. I've got a couple sprigs of cilantro. It's about 5 sprigs. We're going to throw them in there. Now we're going to be taking that out, so that's why I'm leaving those whole. Now we're going to put about half of our herb in here. It's a 10 gram package, and we're going to put about 5 grams of that in the pot. And then, like I said, we're going to cook this until those potatoes start to fall apart. I almost forgot. I'm going to put a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. We may have to adjust that later, but I just want to put some in there now so that we're kind of salting the potatoes. I'm going to put a little bit of black pepper. But how much salt and pepper is really up to you. It doesn't take a whole lot of black pepper. That's not going to be a strong flavor in it. Alright. Our potatoes have been cooking for a little while. Should be nice and tender. Let's see what we got happening. Yes, they fall apart. That's what I want. I want to break them all apart. So basically I'm going to take all these potatoes out of here, and I'm going to break them apart. Alright, our potatoes are broke up. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull out this cilantro, get rid of it. There we go. Now we're going to put our potatoes back in here. Now we're going to add our other potatoes, our white potatoes that we had. We got them diced up. We're going to add them. And then we're going to cook this until these potatoes are tender. Alright, so we put our potatoes in here. Now this is coming back up to a boil. I'm going to put some corn in here. I'm going to put like 6 pieces of this. Okay, now normally this dish would only have chicken breast, but I don't have quite enough breast for this entire pot. So I'm going to go ahead and use the dark meat I got off that chicken also. So I'm putting the dark meat and the white meat in. Now this isn't as thick as it should be. The Colombian potatoes, man, they really do a good job of thickening this stew up. But anyway, it's still going to taste good. It's just not going to be as thick. Okay, now our chicken was already cooked, so all we have to do is reheat or heat that through. And that's taken care of now. Let's go ahead. Make sure we get plenty of potatoes. Oh, that looks pretty. Put a piece of corn in here. Gotta have the corn. Now, what we're gonna do, we're gonna take some of this cream of Mexicana. That there. I'm going to put some, let's put the cilantro next. There we go. Now we're going to take some avocado. I've already kind of cut this up to where it'll dice. We're going to take some capers. And there's the dish. Okay, so how does it taste, or how did we do? Oh man, that's good. It needs just a little bit more salt, but it's got the flavor. It's not thick like it should be, but that's from using the different potatoes. Anyway, enjoy.